The time now is 2:02 p.m. We are back on the record for break. And as a note, the witness observing the deposition of Mr. John Carroll had to take a break, so we went off the record. Her name is Roberta Arnaud. Please continue.
Okay, John. Thank you, Scott. All right, John, just getting back to that voicemail, one of the things that was confusing to me, I was hoping you could possibly clarify it. You had sent the letter to Senator Padovan dated August 26th, and then the voicemail was left for me on August 25th. So clearly at that point you had already made a decision to ban me from campus personally. So to ask me to come back onto campus to give my point of view would seem counterintuitive. So why again would you be having me back on campus after we're putting in writing that I could be arrested for stepping foot on campus?
Was that clear, John?
Sure.
It was? Okay.
Let me explain. When the letter that you received from me, that you keep referring to as banning you from campus.
The letter from you?
From me,
right.
That's right. What that letter really does is I'm acting as an agent of the university. And what I'm saying as an agent of the university, it's just a letter to tell you that you are not welcome back at Fordham again, and should you choose to ignore what I'm saying, you're putting yourself at risk for being charged with trespass. One of the requirements to be charged with...
You're threatening me with arrest and imprisonment.
Objection.
Well, that's what it says here. Take whatever steps necessary to file trespassing charges against you.
You keep on interrupting the witness when he's trying to answer the question. Will you let him answer the question?
All right, well, answer the question then.
So it was a notification to you, sir, to let you know that based on the conduct and your behavior there, that you could not come back onto campus. And should you choose to ignore my directive, we would then have the opportunity to file a criminal trespass charge against you.
Precisely.
The penal law, sir, makes it necessary for an agent of the institution or the property to inform you of that. That's essentially all I did, was inform you.
Right, so I was banned from the university. If I can't step foot on the university, then you're banned.
Correct.
Okay.
But the fact of the matter is, what I'm saying is, now at a subsequent time, you're asking me to explain, at a subsequent time, notwithstanding my notification to you that we could file charges against you, notwithstanding that, I still wanted to offer you an opportunity to come back and say whatever you had to say.
But certainly, what was the purpose of that?
The purpose was, just as I said, to give you an opportunity.
But it wouldn't change anything. You've already made your decision.
Objection.
You never gave me the opportunity to do that.
But you also were trying to entrap me by having me step foot on campus.
Don't answer
No.
that question.
Well, he was. He sent a letter, said, I'm going to throw you in jail if you step on campus, and then he's inviting me to campus. That's clearly entrapment.
Sir, I never sent you a letter saying that I was going to throw you in jail.
Yes, you did. You
No,
just
sir.
said. You just said you were going to have filed trespassing charges against me.
No, what I
That's
said-
throwing me in jail.
No, Mr. Russell wants to...
But it's not inviting me to a party.
Objection, but it's...
Take you into
argument-
custody and whatever steps. No, it's not. I'm asking him. The purpose of the voicemail was clearly to have me thrown in jail, because he did not rescind the arrest order.
Mr. Carroll
No, sir, it was
explained
not.
why he left a message for you. It's already been answered.
No, but my point is that it was clear that he was trying to...
Your point is not a question.
Right, but I'm asking him, why would you ban me from campus and then invite me on campus?
Because I wanted to give you...
But you didn't rescind the arrest order. Why didn't you rescind the arrest order?
Objection, you're not giving him a chance to answer, Mr. Russell.
Sir, it's not an arrest order. You keep saying it's an arrest order. It's a notification to you from me as an agent of the university
No, you said that already.
to let
Yeah.
you know something. But if I invite you back, I certainly can't invite you back and then have you charged with criminal trespass. So that's ludicrous to even say that.
Why? You didn't in writing, you didn't rescind the trespass order.
Objection. It's asked.
And you didn't mention it in the voicemail. You didn't even say it.
Objection. Mr. Carroll already answered your question. This is just badgering.
Well, he didn't answer it, but we'll continue on.
He explained why he
Well,
called you.
well, no, he clearly was engaging in entrapment, which is a state crime, but which we've already filed for anyway. But that's neither here nor there.
Objection.
Okay, fine.
The scope.
Was sending a voicemail part of your investigative process? Why didn't you send a letter?
Objection. It's a compound question. You asked
Okay.
the question.
Is a voicemail part of the sexual harassment policy?
Objection.
All right, fine, whatever.
It's
Is sending a voicemail part of the harassment investigative policy?
Objection.
Well, what is the policy? What is the I don't understand that he already made the decision to expel me and throw me off campus, so I don't understand what this was it further confirmation you wanted to intimidate me?
Objection. As I said, Mr. Carroll explained why he left the voicemail. You already answered that.
All right. Okay, well, you guys could say what you want. Can you define for me sexual harassment, please?
Objection.
John? Well, he's a decorated police officer. I think he's
I can
capable.
define it for you, sir, but it's not applicable in this case.
Oh, that's
at all.
okay.
It has
No, that's
nothing
all
to do with this case. It's just like I could define murder for you or homicide for you.
Well, I'm not asking you to define murder or homicide. I'm asking you to define sexual harassment.
I'm gonna object again, and
All right,
based on
fine.
the court's order, I'm gonna.
No, but sexual harassment is clearly part of the second cause of action. So, John, can you please answer that for me, please?
The second cause of action is.
Look, you can't keep wasting time. I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to waste time. John,
I'm
could you
not.
please answer the question?
But under the court.
Sexual harassment is clearly mentioned in the second cause of action. If you want to argue with the judge, argue with the judge. John, please, can you answer the question?
The cause of action talks about
Sexual harassment.
whether or not.
Fordham's
we follow
sexual,
our
no,
policy.
it says Fordham's sexual harassment policy, because he's wasting time.
No, I'm not looking to waste time.
Yes, you are working. I know your game. I know your game. You guys are sneaky, and I know your game.
There's no game. I'm trying
Yeah,
to
there's
just
no game.
abide by the court order.
I am too. Sexual harassment is clearly mentioned in the court order. If you're not going to mention, I'll press contempt charges. It's your choice. Make a decision.
I'm talking about cause of action has to do with whether we follow our policy on sexual harassment, not sexual harassment itself.
I'm asking him to define a definition that's in the policy. If you want, I'll press contempt charges. It really doesn't matter. It's no difference to me. So, John, do you want to answer, yes or no?
You can answer. Go ahead.
Sexual harassment can happen in a number of ways. It can be sexual assault. It can be stalking. It can be
It can be stalking. Okay.
domestic violence. It can be a number of different things. Can all be part of sexual harassment. But the purpose of sexual harassment is to degrade or to take negative actions towards a person because of their sex, because of their sexual orientation, etc.
Okay, so you would feel that the allegations that Security Officer Joyner made did not fall under that umbrella?
It did not.
Okay. Can you define stalking for me?
Yes, stalking is a continually repeated course of conduct, continually repeating, harassing that person and going after them and following them and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's not what happened here. What happened here was simple harassment or violation.
Okay, so you feel that following someone at 2:10 in the morning down 60th Street to a subway repeatedly is not stalking?
Objection.
No, I'm just trying to figure out is it stalking or not stalking?
It would have to be repeated, continuous action.
No, I'm asking you specifically about the Security Officer Joyner's report.
Security Officer Joyner's.
Would you consider that stalking?
No. If I considered it stalking, sir, I would have called it stalking and not harassment.
Okay, stalking, according to the National Victims of Crime Center, is defined as a pattern of behavior that makes you feel afraid, nervous, harassed, or in danger. When someone repeatedly contacts you, follows you, sends you things, talks to you when you don't want to, or threaten you. Stalking behaviors can include knowing your schedule, showing up places you go, writing letters, damaging property, so on and so forth.
You didn't do any of those things.
So, well, I know I didn't, but Security Officer Joyner is claiming that there were several incidents in the past leading to this incident, meaning the car, and then she further stated that I was loitering about the soda machines and then stalking her down 60th Street. So clearly you're
Where are you reading this from?
from Security Officer Joyner's report. So clearly
Which
you're
report is that?
the confidential security report. I believe you have it already.
I don't believe that's
Yeah. So
Winter's report.
yeah, this is Joyner's report, and she said that she has noticed that he follows her and walks toward the same train station as he does. And according to the National Victims of Crime, that clearly falls in the definition of stalking.
Are you talking about the security report?
Right, because
The public safety security report.
right. So can you explain the discrepancy there, John?
There is no discrepancy.
Well, wait, you're confusing me here, John. It's either stalking or it's not stalking.
Look, it's certainly not sexual harassment. It's not stalking as done in sexual harassment.
No, I'm saying the definition of stalking.
I just told you the definition of stalking. It's a pattern of behavior.
Right, and clearly she was indicating a pattern of behavior. She's claimed that I stalked her.
Objection. Where did it?
Yes or no? Did she claim I stalked her, or did she claim that I not stalked her?
She claimed that she was concerned about you being outside her locker room at 2 o'clock in the morning when she came out of her locker room, and the building was essentially almost empty.
Right, and then she said that I followed her down 60th Street, down to the subway. So by the definition of stalking,
Definition?
well, the definition from the National Victims of Crime saying is a stalking is a pattern of behavior that makes you feel afraid, nervous, harassed, or in danger. So you just said that I was making her feel uncomfortable and in danger. So that's stalking. Her claim is that I was stalking her.
Objection. Mr. Carroll already answered the question.
No, he didn't.
as
He
to-
just-
Earlier, if I may finish, he already answered the question regarding this.
No, he
this
didn't.
particular allegation.
He
that it was
sidestepped
harassment.
it.
It's harassment. I'm just saying,
No, I'm-
previous questions that have been asked.
No,
it's-
but I'm trying to get him to tell me whether this behavior that Joyner was accusing me of, is that stalking or not?
And Mr. Carroll already just explained previously, in previous questions. And
No, he said it was
that it
harassment.
was harassment, which is different from stalking.
No, I'm asking him specifically about stalking.
He answered the question.
Mr. Carroll already answered the question.
John, would you,
I don't think you were guilty of stalking.
so, no, I'm not asking you whether I was guilty. I'm asking you if Security Officer Joyner's statement about what I was doing, her allegations, are those stalking allegations? Yes or no?
I don't believe so.
So you don't feel loitering and following someone involves stalking?
Objection. Asked and answer.
Why don't you feel that these
Objection.
allegations?
It's,
Well, he's not explaining why following someone is not stalking. He just says, I feel it's not stalking. Fine. Why do you feel that way?
he already answered
No, he
that.
didn't.
He did.
No, he didn't.
That it was harassment.
No, it's not. He didn't answer the question.
He did answer the question.
John,
previously.
can you answer the question, please? Why is this not stalking? Why is her report not stalking?
Objection. It's already been answered.
Well, all right, look, we'll do the contempt charge again. It doesn't matter to me. He hasn't answered why this is not stalking. He just says it's harassment.
I don't
Go ahead.
I don't believe it elevates to stalking.
All right, well, you just told me that stalking is a behavior that causes someone to feel nervous, afraid, harassed, or in danger. And that's exactly what she's stating here.
It's the pattern, sir.
Right. And that's what stalking is. It's a pattern.
Okay,
All right, well, maybe you can define stalking for me.
He did.
Objection. Here he did. It's asked and answered. He doesn't have to answer.
All right, well, you can say what you want, I guess. All right, so, so basically what you were trying to do is keep these charges outside of the sexual harassment policy, qualifying them as not sexual harassment.
Objection. He's not, I mean, it's argumentative on your part. He's trying to do this, and it was...
No, he's trying to keep it out of Title IX. He's trying to keep, and clearly with sexual harassment, but he's just trying to keep it out.
Mr. Roth, Mr. Carroll, he said that it was, the policy did not apply.
Well,
He's
that's
not
his
trying to
opinion,
keep
that's his
any-
opinion, but his opinion clearly is not held up by the facts, because the false charges were stalking and sexual harassment. So,
Objection. As to false charges, as to sexual harassment, these are all your opinions, Mr.
okay,
President.
fine, thank you. Okay, so this policy for handling things outside of sexual harassment it's not written down anywhere.
Objection. It's asked and answered already.
Well, I haven't seen any written policy. I'm just trying to find out if there's a written policy.
Objection. Mr. Carroll answered that already. You asked him, the first, I think, series of questions had to do with whether there was a policy.
Well, there is none.
And
So,
talked about practice. And
well,
what he-
practice is not a policy. Practice is basically you go with your gut.
Objection.
So basically, you just go with your gut on things that aren't written down.
No, sir.
Objection.
Well, this is not written down, so you have to go with your gut.
Objection. As to like going with your gut. I mean, you're badgering.
Well, I'm not badgering it. He said there's a policy. I'm trying to figure out what the policy is. So far, he's told me just basically what he decides the policy is. I guess it's a unilateral. I guess it would be safe to say you decide the policy. You are the policy.
Objection.
Unilateral policy?
Objection.
No questions.
Well, I'm asking what the policy is.
But as I'm going to object again, because he already asked, you already asked the question and he answered the question already.
Well, I mean, there is, for example, there is a sexual misconduct policy and procedures. And then he's saying this doesn't fall under it. So what policy does it fall under?
Objection. It's already been asked and
I
answered.
answered that.
No, you just said you decide
Mr. Ross,
what to do.
It's just that it's not what you want to hear regarding.
No,
whether
I'm
there's a
just
policy or
trying to
not.
figure out where legally, under what umbrella this was. I mean, it doesn't appear to be under any legal umbrella. It just appears to be what he decides to do.
Objection. It's ambiguous. Your legal umbrella, what are you talking about?
Did you speak to Tom DiGiulio, the head of legal counsel, about the allegations?
I don't recall.
I sent him a letter. Did he show you that letter? Requesting an investigation?
Could you show the letter, sir?
Sure.
Sure.
I may have seen this, sir, but
Did you have any discussions with Tom DiGiulio about this?
no, sir. Can I point out something about the letter that you just handed me?
Sure.
You lied in that letter. You said you're an adult student at Fordham College of Liberal Studies. You are not that.
Well, I'm not the one being deposed here, so you're entitled to your opinion. So,
Okay. I just want to point that out, sir.
well, I was a student, but I'm not. That's neither here nor there.
I'm going to mark this as Exhibit E.
Did you
Okay.
speak to Joe McShane about a letter I sent on June 26, 2010?
So I answered that before.
No, that was Senator Padovan's letter. This was a letter I had sent to Joe McShane myself.
Could you show me that, sir?
Sure. So do you recall speaking to President McShane about that?
I did not speak to President McShane about that.
Okay.
And again, sir, I just want to point out that you lied in that letter also, because you identify yourself in each of these letters as an adult student at Fordham College of Liberal Studies, and you are not that, and were not that at the time of the occurrence.
Okay. Multiple emails were sent to you. Two were sent on Thursday, May 20th, 2010. 2 were sent on Friday, May 21st, 2010. 1 was sent on Monday, May 24th, 2010. And 1 was sent on Tuesday, May 25th, 2010, requesting a meeting and saying I would like an investigation. None of these emails were returned at that point in time. Can you explain why?
Sir, who did you send the emails to, sir?
I sent them to you directly.
Do you have copies of the emails?
I marked the letter to Father McShane from you, Mr. Rosswasser, dated June 26, 2010, as Exhibit F.
Okay. Here's the one, May 20th at 5:23 p.m. Here's the one, May 20th at 5:25, which is essentially the same thing. Email on May 21st at 2:26 p.m. That was requesting to talk to third-party witnesses and video. May 21st at 3:35 p.m. a request to talk to another third-party witness. And May 24th at 2:52, requesting a review of videotape records. And May 25th at 3:35, also requesting review of videotape records. So I sent you a total of 2, 4, 7, 8 emails from May 20th, 2010 to May 25th, 2010, requesting an investigation, requesting that I be contacted, and none of those emails were returned. Can you please explain why you ignored these requests?
Sir, where's the copy of the letter that I sent you? That you keep
Well,
referring to?
first, I need you to answer this question.
I need to look at that so I can understand. I want to answer your question, yes. Can I answer?
Well, no, it's just a simple yes or, why didn't you respond to my emails? I mean,
May I look at the letter?
which letter?
This is the Exhibit C, I think the letter that
Oh,
Mr. Carroll sent to you.
threatening me with arrest if I step foot on campus, of course.
Objection. Badgering the witness again.
Oh, no, I'm just stating what's in the letter. Step on campus and you go to jail.
Objection.
So the letter doesn't say that, as I mentioned to you before, and...
All right, well, let's get back to the emails.
Yes, sir. I did answer these emails in my letter to you dated May 21st.
No, why didn't you respond to the emails when I sent them?
I did.
Asking for an investigation.
Sir, I did respond to your emails by writing you a letter on May 21st.
But in that letter, you said there was no reason to consider any type of allegation. And in the emails, I asked you to consider the allegations. So we have another discrepancy here that I'm really having trouble with, because first you say in the letter there's no way to discuss, there's no reason to discuss any allegations. And I'm asking you to do the allegations. So once again, we have that discrepancy as to whether an investigation actually was done.
Objection. You already asked him questions about that previously. So it's asked and answered.
So I guess the ultimate question is, aren't you interested in finding out what the truth is? I mean, if I send you these emails with clearly indicative evidence to the contrary of the allegations made, videotape, talking to witnesses, so on and so forth, you wouldn't want to respond to those or consider those allegations?
Mr. Rosswasser, you sent me emails on May 20th at 5:23, and May 20th at 5:25, and on May 21st at 2:26 p.m., and on May 21st at 3:35 p.m. And I responded to you in my letter to you on May 21st, responding to all of those emails. And your email, when you sent me an email, which I basically told you that I'm sorry, I'd have to write to you again. I understand that you're not currently enrolled at Fordham and you have no legitimate reason to be on any Fordham campus. Therefore,
No, I know what the letter says. You don't have to read it back to me.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So then when you put in this thing about, please note that video camera that records the activity in front of Quinn Library will be able to refute, that's your statement, sir, but that's not correct. There's nothing to respond to there.
All right, well, in the email, I said I would, if possible, I'd like to defend myself against the false and slanderous charges that have been made against me, which have absolutely no basis in reality. And then I went on to say multiple reasons why the allegations were completely and totally false. And then I closed with, please note, I'm willing to continue to cooperate into an investigation to prove these allegations completely and utterly false. Once I have a complete list of the false allegations, I will gladly go through each of them. However, I have not been allowed to view the list of alleged charges as of May 20th, 2010. So you see, we got a discrepancy there, because here I'm telling you I want to make a statement, I want to go into an investigation, and you're saying in your letter to me there's no reason to do any investigation.
I never said there was no reason to do any investigation.
So you said there was no reason to there was no reason to consider any allegations.
No, I said there's no need to discuss, defend, or consider.
Right.
Right.
Consider any allegations, right?
We investigated this matter. The investigation was complete. I made a decision that, based on being an agent of the university, that the allegations of Melissa Joyner were credible, and that was based on her interview and on your interview. And on your interview, you supported what Melissa said. You placed yourself back in that hallway at that time of night, sir, and based on that, to me, that was more than probable cause to believe that she was correct, and I believe she was credible.
So,
and I sent you a letter,
right,
just simply saying to you, sir, that you could not come back to Fordham. That's all.
So you feel it's a proper investigation to let the person accused of charges not even see the charges that they've been accused of? That's what you're stating.
Objection. It's already asked and answered.
So you're okay with withholding the charges against the person that the charges are being made against?
Objection.
John?
It's not.
No, he has. I'm just asking him a question. Is it okay, yes or no? It's a yes or no answer.
Repeat the question.
Is it okay for when a person is charged with a crime that they are not allowed to see the charges with which they are?
Objection. We're not.
You were not charged with a crime.
This is.
You just told me I was charged with harassment. Harassment is a crime.
I never said you were charged with harassment.
Well, that's what the report said. The reports clearly said harassment at the top.
That defines the conduct, but you were not charged with it. Nobody charged you with anything.
Right. Well, would you consider the Department of Public Safety a quasi-police agency?
No.
You wouldn't?
No.
Well, that's unusual, because you do have ex-police officers on your staff, correct?
Absolutely.
Can you say how many police officers do you have, ex-police officers you have on your staff?
40-something.
Okay, and they are armed, correct?
Objection. There's no relevance here.
Oh, I'm getting to it. Are they armed?
They are armed, yes.
So, in essence, you're acting as a police agency or an agent of the NYPD.
Absolutely not.
So you're saying that having 40-plus ex-NYPD with guns, legal guns, is not acting as a quasi-police agency?
Absolutely. It is not acting as a quasi-police agency at all. We are not an agent of the NYPD.
No, I didn't say that. I said quasi, meaning a stand-in for a police agency.
Excuse me, sir, I need to put this back on.
So you're saying it's not a quasi-police agency?
It is not. It's a public safety department of a private university.
Right. So you're acting essentially as an assistant to the NYPD?
Absolutely not.
Well, you just said you had 40 ex-NYPD officers on there. So clearly there's some policing going on.
No, there's what there is public safety for a private university.
Well, you have contacts with the NYPD on a regular basis, do you not?
Objection. This is irrelevant.
No, it's quite relevant, because it's clearly, if you're being taken into custody, you have a right to see the charges against you.
You are not being taken into custody. Nobody ever was taking you into custody.
Oh, Dan Gonin did.
No, he did not.
Yes, he did. He forced me out of the library.
Objection. This has already been covered.
We went over this, Mr. Rosso.
Well, I mean, the fact is, I was never allowed to see the charges against me.
There was no charges for you to
No,
see.
these are the charges, the security report. I was never allowed to see the charges that she made against me.
The security report.
What, so these are not charges?
If you could give him the chance to answer, go ahead.
Security report, as articulated before was not even typed up when Mr. Gonan interviewed you, so there was nothing to show you.
Oh, so when he threw me out of the library, it wasn't even typed up.
So he didn't throw you out of the
Objection.
library.
What did he do then?
He came to interview you where you were at.
No, he actually removed me from the library, hauled me into his office, and then interrogated me for 15 minutes.
No, sir, he asked you to come with him so that he could interview you and give you the courtesy of having an interview done in a private place so you would not be embarrassed in the library. That's what he did.
So surrounding a person with 3 security guards is private then, in the library?
So those
Objection.
Those are your words.
Oh, no, I mean, that's what happened. I was there. Trust me, that's what happened. And I have witnesses there, too, so. So is that your idea of confidentiality, then?
Objection.
Or you enjoy the show of force, intimidating people?
Objection. You're badgering Mr.
I'm not. I'm asking him.
What are you, those are not
You
questions.
ask me a
Those
question,
are-
sir, and I'll answer it.
Well, I'm asking you why you didn't let me see the charges against me.
I explained to you,
Asked and
sir.
answered. Objection. He already said that.
No, he didn't say. He
Now
didn't
said
say
there's no
why.
charges. There's no charges.
These are what is a security report? A security report are charges. It says harassment. Harassment is a crime. I was charged with a crime. I'm allowed to see what crimes I'm being charged with.
Objection. There was, and Mr. Carroll said you were not charged with any crime. You're not charged with anything because it's not.
Well, I wasn't allowed on campus, so clearly I was charged with something.
No, sir,
If you
were
want to
not-
clarify.
Sir, you were not charged with anything. You were given a letter from me explaining to you that you could no longer come back on Fordham University property. You had no reason to be there in the first place, sir, and you falsified information even to get a library card saying that you were an alum. You're not an alum of Fordham.
Okay, so why, once the charges were filed with Fordham, why did you take the unusual step of not reporting the allegations to the NYPD?
If I may, sorry to interrupt. I'm just going to mark these emails as Exhibit G. Okay.
Sir? I mean, these are pretty serious allegations here. I would think, you'd have to report them at least to the NYPD to get them on the case.
No, sir, I was not bringing in the NYPD at all. There was no allegations at all. There was no charges against you at all. There was no reason to notify the NYPD.
So wait, if there's no charges, then why was I banned from campus? This is where I'm getting confused.
Objection.
You're saying there's no charges, yet I was banned from campus under threat of arrest. So clearly, something must have transpired in between to cause you to ban me from campus.
Sir, I explained to you what happened. We did an investigation, and I found the charges of Melissa Joy and the security guard to be credible.
All right, so the charges were credible.
So
Charges were made.
Well, the complaint. Let's not use the word charges.
Well,
because
complaint, fine.
The complaint.
Charges, complaint, whatever, it's interchangeable.
The complaint was, no, the complaint, sir.
So
was-
why didn't you file the complaint with the NYPD? These are
Because
serious allegations.
No, they're not.
These aren't serious allegations.
No, they're a violation. They're not even a crime.
So why was I banned from campus then, if they're not serious?
Because I determined that you had no purpose being there. You had no reason to be at Fordham University. None.
So you can make the unilateral decision who stays and who goes?
No,
Whose
sir.
career is destroyed and who's not?
Objection.
I never destroyed your
This-
career.
this is-
You didn't destroy my career. I can't study there anymore.
You can study a million places.
No, I can't study at Fordham.
Sir,
Oh, that's not your problem.
Objection. You're badgering Mr.
I'm not badgering. He's
You are
saying, first he's saying,
destroyed his
no, he's
career.
contradicting it. First he's saying there's no charges, and then he's saying there's charges that I have to be banned for. So what is it? Do I
Sir.
either have charges or no charges?
Sir, I never said you had charges you had to be banned for it. Those words never came
All
out
right,
of my mouth.
complaint.
There was
So-
a complaint that I found to be credible, sir.
Right, so,
And I asked...
and you made the unilateral decision to ban me from campus.
It was not a unilateral decision. It was a decision
Oh,
that I...
did it involve other people?
No, it was a decision that I made.
All right, so it was a unilateral decision.
You know what? You're just...
Is it, I mean, so wait, was it a committee, or was it like you, Joe McShane, Tom DiGiulio?
No, it was me.
Who was you? So it was a unilateral decision then? Okay.
It was my decision.
It was your decision. So you made the decision to ban someone for a non-crime.
I made the decision to ban someone for a non-crime based on a credible complaint.
Right.
from-
All right.
May I finish, sir?
But you keep saying that it's a crime and then it's not a crime.
I never said it was a crime. You never heard those words from me.
Harassment is a crime.
No, it's not, sir.
You just told me it was a Class B misdemeanor under New York State penal law.
Objection.
I didn't say
Mr.
that,
Carroll,
sir.
he explained earlier that it's a violation.
A violation is still a crime.
No, it's not, sir.
Yes, it
that's
is.
what-
It's not a felony.
So it's not a crime. A violation is not a crime. It's an offense. It is not a crime. A crime, as I explained to you before, needs to be a felony or a misdemeanor.
And that's what Mr. Carroll explained earlier.
Now, John, what I wanted to ask you too, there was no written notice of the findings of fact. It was just said that a credible allegation was made. So why was there no findings of fact reported to me? It just said that the allegation was made, the report was made, but there was no actual findings of fact to indicate some sort of investigation went on. Can you please explain that to me, please?
I did. I explained it before. First of all, you don't have... Okay. The finding is clear. I said it in the letter to Senator Padovan. It was a credible allegation.
No, I'm not talking about the allegation. I'm talking about the findings of fact after the allegation.
Objection.
John?
What findings of fact
What are you
referring to?
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. There were no findings of fact. In both cases, you just say there was an allegation, but you never said there was no findings of fact. Can you please explain that discrepancy for me?
The fact?
No. Why there was no findings of fact?
I don't know what you're looking for, Mr. Rossos.
I'm not looking for anything. I'm asking you. You said in both letters that a credible allegation was made. Now, after an allegation is made, an investigation is done, and then there's a finding of fact based on that allegation.
The finding of fact is that it's credible, as I told you over and over today.
No, you said the allegation was credible, but you didn't mention
That's a
anything
fact.
about investigation of fact.
That's a fact.
Well, that's an opinion, actually. A credible allegation is an opinion. A finding of fact is a fact.
Objection.
So, like...
Mr. Russell, are you reading from some policy or something that...
Look, I'm asking the questions here. Please don't ask me questions. I'm asking the questions, all right? So, there was no finding of fact. Let's leave it at that.
Where are you getting findings of fact from?
There were no findings of fact.
So those are your words.
Okay. So, also in the letter, you gave no rationale as far as why you took the decision and the sanctions. You just said there was a credible allegation. But there was no rationale behind that. Could you please explain that?
I did. I explained it to you in the note. It says...
Where's the rationale? I'm sorry. I must have missed it. Forgive me. I'm not as smart as you. So can you tell me where is the rationale?
What is this from? His letter to you?
Any letter. Any letter to me, letter to Padovan.
Okay.
Choose any letter. I didn't see any rationale.
In my letter to alert you that you could not come back to Fordham anymore, I simply told you here that I have to write to you again based on a report submitted to me by my Lincoln Center administrator.
And where's the rationale? Just because someone writes a report is not a rationale.
The letter, I'm just showing him the letter to Padovan.
In the letter to Padovan...
Yeah, same thing in the letter to Padovan.
Well, in the letter to Padovan, as we pointed out before, sir,
You just said they made a credible allegation.
that's right. Credible means believable.
But, all right, fine, believable, but there's no rationale behind the decision. You didn't explain what the rationale was. There was no, it's just an opinion someone made a credible allegation.
I think that says it all.
So you're saying when someone makes a credible allegation, there's no recourse, basically?
What recourse,
Objection.
what recourse would you be talking about?
Well, recourse, say, let's say O.J. Simpson is accused of murder. So he has the recourse of interviewing witnesses, that type of recourse.
You weren't accused of anything.
I thought you said I was accused of harassment. That's what the report says, see?
I said that behavior was harassment. I'd say
So
you were accused
the
of
incident type says harassment.
I understand.
Right there, see?
I got it.
So,
And that's the correct category, harassment.
well, all right, fine, but
Those are categories, sir.
categories of crimes.
No, they're not.
How come there was no information on how to file an appeal?
Objection.
Well, I mean, when a student is expelled from the school, there's usually some information on how to file an appeal. I mean, there was no.
Objection. You weren't expelled from the school.
I wasn't expelled, so I was invited. I was invited to step foot on campus. Then is what you're saying. If I can't step foot on the property and the school exists on the property, then therefore it's a de facto expulsion, is it not?
Sir, you have you had no standing at Fordham.
No, I'm not asking that question. I'm asking you if why there was no reason no information on how to file an appeal.
Because you have no standing to file an appeal.
I had no standing to file an appeal.
No,
Well, why not? I wasn't on the campus illegally. I had a library pass.
That you obtained with false information.
False information. I told them I was paying off a bill, and I needed to still access the library facilities, and I paid $100.
You told them you were an alumnus, and they
No, I didn't tell them alumnus.
No, that's
They classified me as such, but I didn't lie about it.
Okay, I'm not going to debate that with you, sir.
Well, there's no reason to debate it because I was on campus legally
You were, sir, when you had that library
If you,
pass.
Mr. Ross,
when I had the library pass, precisely.
But
So I had standing as a third party.
No, you didn't. sir.
Yes, I did.
If you could just stop the debating between each other.
I'm not debating. I'm
Yeah,
saying I had
going back
standing
and
as a
forth.
third party.
But if you could ask questions, please.
Well, I'm asking a question. Why wasn't I allowed to file an appeal as a third party? I was on campus legitimately as third party.
Objection as to what appeal are you talking about? Are you talking about a
Well,
particular policy or-
well, I don't know. For so far, you guys haven't given me a policy that you followed. You just kind of whatever John Carroll makes up on fly.
Objection.
So I'm just guessing based on, normal criminal conduct. When a decision is handed down, you're always given the right of appeal. Hence, we have the Court of Appeals in the United States. Here, a decision was made, and there was no way to even make an appeal. So why is that?
Okay, so the reason you're asking is you were handed a letter, just a notification letter, as I said, from an agent of the institution. There is no appeal from that particular decision. You didn't have any standing in the university at all.
So having a library card is not standing.
Then, sir, let me
Mr. Ross, if you can finish.
Then I did understand, it came to my attention later that you had a library card, and then subsequently I invited you to come back so that we could talk about it. You chose not to do that.
Well, after you had threatened me with arrest, there was no reason to step foot on campus because you were planning on having me arrested again.
Objection.
So anyway, that's neither here nor there. All right, so you didn't give me any chance to appeal the decision to throw me off campus then.
Objection.
Okay, so let's see, where are we here? All right, now, on August 25th, I was refunded the $100 that I paid for the library card. So that clearly indicates I had standing to be on campus. Why was that $100 returned to me?
Based on the fact that I had sent you the letter that you could no longer come on campus, so we wanted to return that money to you.
So the money basically bought me a legitimate pass to be on campus then?
You had an absolute right to be on campus because you applied for and got an unauthorized library card. However, once I sent you the letter saying that you could no longer come back on campus, Fordham wanted to do the right thing and return your $100.
Now, let's get to that unauthorized library card. Fordham's policy clearly states that third parties can have access to the library. So can you explain your statement as to how that's possible?
Yes, sir. Certain third parties can have access to the library. You were not one of them.
On what basis?
You are not an alum, sir. You're not a member of the Metropolitan Library Association. You're not a member of any other, you were not a student in any other school that we have relationships with to use the library. You fit none of those categories.
So a working class student paying off an expensive Fordham bill doesn't count as a third party then, is what you're saying?
I'm saying you are not authorized to be in the library.
All right, so you don't want working class students on campus then?
Objection.
So, okay, no, it's no problem.
Argumentative and badgering again.
Okay, let's see. Now, how come you did not inform the Title IX coordinator of this investigation?
Objection.
John?
That's beyond the scope.
Oh, no, it's well within the
Action.
scope because...
Not at all.
Yes, it is, because the policy clearly states that these types of things will be reported to the Title IX coordinator.
But Title IX, you did not plead Title IX as part of your...
It still existed at the time. It doesn't matter. I didn't know about it. If you're going to withhold it from me, of course I'm not going to. But that's part of the cover-up, is that you withhold it.
There's no withholding.
Sure there is.
But
What, I'm supposed to be an expert on Title IX?
objection to that. But go ahead if you want to ask the question to John.
So how come you didn't involve the Title IX coordinator?
Because Title IX did not apply in your case.
Interesting. So what does a Title IX case involve then? What would trigger a Title IX investigation, I guess, is probably the question.
Objection.
No, it's well within the second cause of action.
Okay.
I don't believe it is.
Yes, it is. The Fordham policy is in the second cause of action, and Fordham policy clearly indicates Title IX. So, John, if you can answer the question, please.
The policy, what's in the cause of action says that we didn't follow our policy.
Yeah, and the policy includes Title IX.
What do you mean includes Title IX?
Well, it mentions Title IX about 10 times in it, so clearly Title IX is part of the internal policy. So, John, can you answer the question, please?
Mr. Russell, Title IX is about sexual assaults, a number of anything, it's involved sexual. It's a sexual violation. You did not commit a sexual violation. There was no reason to even think about Title IX in your case.
All right, well, I hate to disagree with you, John, but under the Fordham sexual misconduct policy, states sexual harassment, section C, such conduct is sufficiently pervasive, offensive, or abusive to have the purpose or reasonable effect of interfering with an individual's work or educational performance or creating an intimidating, hostile, or offensive work or educational environment. And then if we go back to the report, she states, when she passes him, she has noticed that he follows her and walks toward the same train station as he does. And then it says, security officer Joyner crosses Broadway to the uptown subway. She has on several occasions looked back at him and seen him standing on the corner. Upon seeing her turn around, he has gone down the subway stairs on the downtown side. Furthermore, she states she was walking toward the train station at 60th and Broadway, at which time a car parked curbside flashed her headlights at her. As she walked up by the car, she recognized the driver to be me. She stated that he was covering up his face with his eyes onto with a newspaper. And further states that there have been several incidents in the past leading up to this incident, no mention of what they were, but just kind of out in the air. So that's not sexual harassment then, is what you're saying?
Well, what's the question, Mr. Russell?
Well, by the definition of Fordham's sexual harassment policy, is that behavior sexual harassment, sufficiently pervasive, offensive, and abusive, to have the reasonable effect of interfering with an individual's work performance.
Mr. Russell, what document are you referring to?
Oh, I'm referring to Fordham's sexual misconduct policy and procedures, subsections 3, paragraph 3.
Is this the current policy, or is it the policy that was in place in 2000?
This is the policy that's currently on the website.
Okay.
Sorry, can I answer that?
No, sure, please.
When you were interviewed by Mr. Gonen pursuant to Ms. Joyner's complaint, you stated to Mr. Gonen that, and you stated it directly, that most people leave our Lincoln Center campus at 60th and Columbus to go to a train station, go to the Columbus Circle train station. That's where most people would go. I did not find anything wrong, and I didn't find I didn't find anything wrong with what you said, and you made a very good point about you being at the train station. So the fact that she saw you going to the train station was not meaningful to me. The fact that she said she saw you in a car when you had a paper in front of you, and you said you don't even have a car in your interview by going and nor a license, none of that was meaningful to me. The part that was credible to me was the part that you were standing outside of her locker in the Lowenstein building when she came out of her locker at 2 o'clock in the morning on a number of occasions. So that's what I meant by a credible allegation rather than non-credible. I'm not saying
Oh,
that
so you're
everything-
saying some of them are credible and some of them are not credible?
That's right.
Oh, okay.
That's right.
So you're saying in some cases she lied, in other cases she didn't lie?
No, sir, I'm not saying that.
Oh.
No, sir.
So,
I'm saying
so
that-
credible, not credible is not lying?
If you can give,
No, I'm just trying to figure, I'm just confused that now we're getting into the heart of it, that some things are credible and some things aren't credible, so.
Sir,
objection, allow him to finish, please.
I explained to you that when we investigated this matter by talking to the complainant and talking to you, based on that, we were able to come up with conclusions that make sense, and that's the reason that her allegations are credible about the about being on the Lowenstein building. Not only did she say that you were there, you said you were there, so it was clearly credible. Whereas when she said you were possibly in a car with a newspaper in front of you, and you said, "Hey, I don't even have a driver's license. I don't even have a car." Those are we listened to every word you said and took it very seriously. When you said that everybody walks down 60th Street to the Columbus Circle train station, we believed you. But
All right, so you're saying, all right, so just to clarify, just so I understand, because I'm getting a little confused here, there's so many allegations and stuff. You're saying that the train station allegation was not credible,
correct,
and you're saying that the car allegation is not credible.
correct.
Okay. Now, I assume you're aware of the layout of the Lowenstein hallway that she was referring to.
Yes, sir.
So you do know that the locker room she's referring to is 100 yards away and around a corner from the vending machines.
Yes, sir.
So,
Objection.
so clearly, one could be at the vending machines without having any knowledge of who was going in or out of the locker room.
Objection. Speculative.
Well, it's not speculative. He's saying it's a credible allegation, and I'm just trying to figure out where that credibility comes from. I mean, I can't see around a corner. I'm a pretty sharp guy, but I don't have X-ray vision. I can't see around a corner into a locker room. So how can one construe being 100 yards away and around a corner as stalking?
I never accused you of stalking.
All right. Well, what did you accuse me of?
I didn't accuse you of anything.
Well, you said it was a credible allegation.
It is a credible allegation, absolutely credible.
All right. Well, what's credible about it?
It's credible because she,
Objection. It's asked and answered. Mr. Carroll already answered that
She just
question.
said she encountered Mr. Rosenwasser in the hallway by the machines. No comments are made. No behavior is described. It just says she encountered me in the hallway. So where do you get the credibility from there?
I just answered that, sir.
No, you just said it was credible, but how? Why? I'm confused. I don't see where the credibility. I mean, you didn't say I made a comment. It doesn't say that I brushed up against her. It doesn't say I made a lewd remark. And then you said, then the next line you said, when she passes him, he knows that he follows her and walks toward the same train station. But we've already determined that that's not credible. So the only...
No, sir.
Yeah, you said the train was not credible and the car was not credible.
So, I didn't say that.
Oh, so it is credible.
No, sir. Let me,
I'm confused. You're confusing me here, John.
okay.
You got to help me out.
Ask the question, I'll answer it.
All right, the question is, the statement, upon exiting the locker room 10 minutes later, she has encountered Mr. Rosenwasser in the hallway by the soda machines. What is the credible stalking allegation in that statement?
Objection. You already said that it wasn't stalking.
Well, you said it was a credible allegation of harassment. So what is the credible allegation of harassment in that statement?
She stated when she comes out of her locker room at night at 2 o'clock in the morning that you are there. When we interviewed you...
There meaning where?
There, in that
100 yards away and around the corner.
In that hallway, correct, sir. And she stated you were there, and then when we interviewed you, you said you were there.
Okay, so being 100 yards away and around the corner, we just established I was just in that particular place. But how does that constitute harassment is my question. I can't eat pretzels after a long night in the library. Is that what you're saying?
No, sir, I didn't
I
say
can't
that.
read the bulletin boards by the machines?
No, sir.
So where's the credibility? I'm confused. If you can help me out here, John, because I'm just confused where the credibility is. 2 of the 3 are already not credible, and the third, it just says she encountered Mr. Rosenwasser.
Okay. Again,
Once again, I'm not a police professional, so maybe I'm missing something here.
you don't have to be a police professional to understand that if the complainant states a fact, that when she comes out of the locker room at night, at
Right.
2 o'clock in the morning, and she goes into that hallway, you are there.
Right.
When she stated,
That's a fact. I'm not denying the fact.
that's a fact. And
Yeah.
when you were interviewed, you said the same thing.
But what is? Yeah. No. I'm
So
not. The
the-
fact is not. No. I'm not denying the fact. I was buying pretzels and reading the bulletin board. Oh, okay. 5 minutes to break.
Okay.
I'm just trying to figure out how encountering me in the hallway constitutes harassment.
Because it does, she felt that you were following her in a public place.
But you just said following her to the train station was not a credible allegation,
I
and
see.
following her to a car was not a credible allegation. So I wasn't. If I was standing there, I can't be following her.
We gave you were interviewed as part of our investigation.
No, I understand. I'm just confused by this statement. Upon exiting the locker room and 10 minutes later, she encountered Mr. Rosenwasser in the hallway by the soda machines. And how is that? I don't understand how that constitutes harassment or stalking or sexual harassment.
It's not-
Objection.
What crime am I committing by standing 100 yards away and around the corner, reading a bulletin board by a soda machine?
Objection.
I don't know what the crime is. He's saying a crime is in progress.
Mr. Carroll said that it wasn't a crime.
Well, harassment.
Describing it as a crime.
Well, harassment, section 240.25, harassment in the first degree.
That's the first degree. Look at the second degree.
Second degree, yeah.
Second degree, it's a
Intent
violation.
to harass, annoy, or alarm another person.
She felt harassed.
If you want to continue reading.
Well, where does it say? It doesn't say that in the report, though. It just says that she encountered me, but that it doesn't say that she felt annoyed, alarmed, or harassed.
Sure it does.
No, it doesn't.
You don't need those words. It's in the title of the incident report, harassment.
Oh, wait, so you don't need it in the words of the allegation. You just need it, I guess you can just read into it, is what you're saying.
No, sir, I'm not saying that.
Well, I don't see any words there. Upon exiting the locker room 10 minutes later, she had encountered Mr. Rosenwasser all the way by the soda machines. That does not constitute harassment, annoying, alarm. Striking, shoving, kicking, follows a person about in a public place, engages in a course of conduct that repeatedly commits act which alarm or seriously annoy another person, and serve no legitimate purpose. So I'm not sure. It sounds like to me that there's interpretation going on in there.
Objection.
Would I be incorrect?
You're being argumentative.
No, I'm just trying to find out what the fact pattern.
You would be, the question was, would he be incorrect? The answer is yes, you would be incorrect.
Can you explain why?
What question is that? I'm sorry.
The question is, would I be reading into the statement, upon exiting the locker room 10 minutes later, she encountered Mr. Rosenwasser in the hallway by the soda machines? How does that constitute harassment? Because according to section 240.26, harassment in the second degree, you have to engage in a course of contact which alarm or annoy or strike or shove or kick. And it just says she encountered. So it means she just passed me in the hallway. So where's the harassment there?
That's her complaint, sir.
Oh yeah, no, I know that's her complaint. I'm just trying to figure out where in fact the harassment took place. Because you already said that the other two allegations were false.
I didn't say that, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry, what did you say?
I said that we gave you an opportunity to...
No, about the second and third allegations.
Yes, I'm
You
sorry.
said they were not credible.
They were not credible because I couldn't prove...
All right, so they were...
If you could let, if you objection, you could let Mr.
No, I'm just asking, they were either credible or not credible. I mean,
In order to make an intelligent judgment, you have to have reasonable cause to believe. Probable cause, call it whatever you want.
probable cause, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
So-
standard operating procedure.
Based on her complaint about you being in the hallway, in the Lowenstein hallway at night when she came out of her locker room,
How is that probable cause?
If she could let him
No,
finish.
he just keeps repeating the same thing. I'm just confused how encountering Mr. Rosenwasser is probable cause for harassment.
she was fearful. She was concerned. She was annoyed. Whatever adjective you
I'm sorry,
want.
where was that in the report?
It's not in the report.
Oh, it's not in the report. Oh, bummer.
No, sir.
Objection.
No, I'm just going by the report, because the report is the basis upon which I was expelled.
It is in the report.
Objection.
Oh, it is? Where is it? Can you tell me, can you point it out, please? Well, the first paragraph was the car. We already said that's not credible. The second paragraph, the second part of it was the train, so that's not credible. And the only part that's left is, upon exiting the locker room 10 minutes later, she has encountered Mr. Rosenwasser in the hallway by the soda machines.
That's her complaint.
Okay, so, all right, so where is the, what was it? Strike, shove, kick. Is there any striking, shoving, or kicking going on in this?
Nobody accused you of that. Nobody mentioned that.
All right, is there any engaging in a course of conduct or repeatedly commit acts with the alarm or seriously annoy another person?
Yes.
Oh, encountering, I'm sorry, encountering is that a course of conduct that causes alarm?
Caused her alarm.
Well, where does it say that? It just says she encountered. So, like, for example, I encountered Scott when he came into the room today. But he didn't cause any alarm or anything. So it seems like you're reading into encountering automatically translates into harass, annoy, or alarm. Did you want me to, I mean, how do you define encounter, I guess is the question.
I don't define anything. I read the report and I see what
Right.
the report says. It's very clear to me.
All right, so can you,
We need to take a break for a moment.
Sure.
Time now is 3:04 p.m. We are going off the record for break.
Okay.
The time now is 3:17 p.m. We are back on the record for break. We have approximately 15 minutes worth of direct left.
John, one of the things that concerns me is that we've already established or agreed that 2/3 of the allegations made against me were not credible.
That's not correct.
Oh, they were credible.
That's not correct. What you just said is not correct, sir.
Well, all right, so 2/3 of them were credible.
That's not correct either, sir.
Well, prior to this, you said that the first two allegations, I'm sorry, the first and the third allegation were not credible.
Let me say this again, okay, so that maybe I've confused you. And
Yeah, I'm sorry, yeah.
If I have, I apologize.
No, that's okay. I'm just trying to understand.
I'm trying to explain to you in a way that maybe I'm not using the right words. When we did our investigation of this incident, which was the interview of the complainant and the interview of you,
Right.
we determined that clearly the allegations of the complainant were, I guess, were rather than credible, were substantiated.
Which ones?
The ones where Joyner states that you were in the hallway when she came out of her locker room at night
Oh, right, okay.
after work.
So by process of elimination, the other two were not substantiated.
They were unsubstantiated.
Unsubstantiated. Okay.
But that does not mean credible or not credible. Let's take that word credible out of there.
Oh, okay. Well, those were your words.
Those were my words, and
Yeah.
they were a mistake. And the reason I was trying to say that, as I was trying to explain how I used the word credible in the letter to Senator Padovan.
Okay, so given that two-thirds of the allegations, 66%, were not credible, wouldn't that give you pause, or
Sorry, I don't-
not substantiated? Wouldn't that give you pause that maybe the whole report was completely unsubstantiated?
No, sir, and I wouldn't say, you're not correct when you say 66%.
Well, two-thirds is 33 and 33 is 66.
I got all
Oh,
that
okay.
really well. That's not the point.
Oh.
The point is,
What's a majority is what I'm saying.
no. You want to divide this and categorize this with numerical counts. That's not correct. She made some statements. They're not given a weight of 33 1/3% each.
All right, all right, so whatever percentage there is, there's basically 2 of the 3 were not substantiated, is what you're saying.
What I'm saying to you, Mr. Wasserwasser, is based my action where I sent you a notice as an agent of the university saying that you could not come back to Fordham was based on the fact that I did find her complaint to be partially substantiated.
Okay, so basically you're saying I'm banned from using a vending machine.
I never said that, sir.
Well, she encountered me while I was using the vending machine, so therefore, clearly using the vending machines is an offense to ban me from the university under threat of arrest.
No, it's not, sir.
Oh.
That's not why I sent you the letter.
Because I didn't encounter her. Oh, anyway,
Objection.
I'm confused. Anyway, if such allegations were made against you, would you want an in-depth investigation? For example, calling third-party witnesses, looking at video, asking for a separate statement from the person who is being accused? Or would you just be okay with being thrown out of the library and interrogated?
Objection. That's speculative.
Well, no, that's what happened. I'm just asking him.
You're asking if it would happen to him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's-
Well,
yeah.
he's a citizen of the United States. He could be accused of false crimes.
Objection as to crimes.
Would you want a very cursory investigation? Would you want an in-depth investigation?
Objection. It's
John?
speculative.
No, it's not speculative. It's it's a reasonable question. It's he's subject to the same policy I am. So if false allegations are made, would you want some sort of very in-depth investigation made?
Objection as to false allegations.
Okay. Well, Nancy,
Mr. Carroll stated that
All right,
it was
allegations.
credible allegations.
Allegations, any type of allegation. Would you want a very in-depth investigation, or would you just want to be thrown out of the library and told, go home, never come back?
nothing like that happened to you.
Well, that's a lie, because it did happen to me. I was there, trust me. So, what type of investigation would you want? Would you want a very cursory one, or would you want an in-depth one?
I would want an honest, reasonable investigation. which is-
In-depth, basically, is what you're saying.
No, honest and reasonable.
Oh, you wouldn't want an
That's
in-depth investigation?
I'm not going to play with you with words.
Oh, no, I'm just asking you. I mean, it's just, it's reasonable. I mean, you were head of homicide in Manhattan South, so clearly you understand what an in-depth investigation is. You headed the precinct up in 41st Precinct in South Bronx. I mean, it's Fort Apache.
This is not a homicide.
No, but the degree is not the issue here. The issue is in the level of investigation that was conducted.
What was conducted by my department was a very reasonable investigation using all of the information that we had at the time.
Would you characterize it as in-depth?
I would characterize it as just what I said, reasonable.
All right, so you wouldn't characterize it as in-depth then?
Objection.
Do you have any idea?
I would not, it's a double negative, I know. I wouldn't characterize it as not being in-depth either. It was reasonable.
All right,
Everything.
you're going on the record saying it was reasonable but not in-depth.
No, I'm not going on the record at that at all. I'm going on the record, it's exactly what I said.
Okay.
It's reasonable.
Do you have any idea that the effects of expulsion has on students attempting to better their lives?
You are not a student.
Well, no, I'm not asking whether you think I was. I'm asking you do you have the idea that the effects that has?
Objection. Calls for speculation. It's not.
No, it's not speculation. It's either a good effect or a bad effect.
You are not a student.
I'm not asking you that. I'm asking you if it's a good effect or bad effect to be expelled from campus.
No, that's not what you asked, sir. You asked if you were a student there.
No, not me. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about, do you have the idea of the effects of expulsion has on any student? Do you think it's a good effect or a bad effect?
But you're not a student.
It doesn't matter. I'm not asking you about me. I'm asking you about in general.
Objection as to expulsion.
Okay, you know, I'm...
Banned from campus, being threatened by arrest if you step foot on campus.
Objection.
You were given a notification.
I said I was going to be arrested if I
That's-
stepped foot on campus. Do you think that's a good effect or a bad effect?
It's not for me to judge that.
It's not for you to judge.
No, because you're not a student. I'm not,
No, I'm not about me. I'm not talking about me. In general, any student.
Well, first of all, if you were...
Objection.
Okay, were you
It's
aware?
speculative.
Were you aware that I was a straight A
He
student
can't
at
get
Fordham?
into-
Thank you,
he can't get into the mind
thank
of
you.
any
Were you aware that I was a straight A student at Fordham?
What I was aware of, sir, is that you took one course...
Two courses.
Sir, may I answer the question?
Well, no, don't lie on the stand. I'm just trying to say I took two courses.
I'd never lie on the stand.
Oh, well, I have to disagree with you there, John.
Objection.
Anyway.
During the witness.
Okay.
Can you allow him to answer? Go ahead.
You took a course in 2007, and you took another course in 2008.
That's two courses. Right. So were you aware that I was a straight A student?
I was not aware of your grade point average, sir.
Were you aware that I was planning on attending a graduate school at Fordham?
How would I ever know what plans were in your head?
Objection. This is all beyond the scope of the remaining claims. What your wishes are, what your goals were. To, if you could continue, Fordham has nothing to do with the remaining claims.
Well, sure it does, because the effect of
It's not relevant.
his policy is directly tied to his failure to follow policy, or any policy at all.
Well, the policy.
Do you know who the Director of Equity was in May 2010?
Do I know? Yes, I do know.
Who was that, please?
To the best of my recollection, it was Georgina Rendex.
Georgina Rendex? Now, did you speak to her at all about these allegations made?
There was no reason to do that.
No reason to discuss these allegations with her?
There was no reason to discuss this with Georgina Rendex at all.
So a female employee of the university was reported being threatened and harassed, and you felt there was no need to discuss that with the Director of Equity?
Objection. Objection. He already answered the question.
No, he didn't.
He did.
No, he didn't.
He would not.
He said he didn't. He didn't explain why.
There was no reason to.
There was no reason to.
Correct.
And why do you feel that way?
Because it was not in her area at all. It had nothing to do with her area.
Well, she handles claims of harassment against women, does she not?
No, she claimed she handles sexual harassment. This was not sexual harassment.
Oh, this wasn't sexual harassment. Oh, okay, that's the difference, I see. Well, I guess we can say encountering someone in the hallway is, I don't know, you can't call it harassment, can you? I mean, but anyway.
5 minutes.
5 minutes? Okay. All right, did you speak to Dean Eldridge about this at all? He was the Dean of Students?
You know, I don't recall.
Well, you must have, because he sent me an email stating that I should contact you because you made the decision to revoke my access to the university. So you must have spoken to him at some point.
No, you're making an assumption that's incorrect. Obviously, if Dean Eldridge wrote to you, he must have been responding to some written communication from you.
And then he says, I have forwarded him to the email you sent me in which you articulated the 5 points. So clearly there was some communication between him and you.
I'm sorry, sir, say that again?
I have forwarded to him, meaning you, the email you sent me in which you articulated the 5 points.
Oh, so Eldridge forwarded your email to him? Is that what he's saying?
No, I'm saying it forwarded to you.
I must be missing the point here.
Okay. Dean Eldridge contacted you with my email articulating that I wanted an investigation done and I was willing to cooperate, and I articulated 5 points.
Can I
You want to show?
Yeah,
Show
sure.
Mr. Carroll the communication document.
So, at some point, there was some communication between you and he about my case, about the allegations made against me.
Okay, well,
So do you recall that email or
I don't.
any type of communication with him?
I do not. But that's not to say that he didn't send me the email, because in the last sentence of this note, he said, I forwarded to him the email you sent me in which you articulated the 5 points. This, again, was dated on May 20th, and as I mentioned to you before, I answered all those emails from the 19th, 20th, and 21st in my letter to you.
Okay. Are you familiar with Fordham law graduate, Assistant District Attorney Elkanah Rao?
Objection. This is beyond the scope of the court orders that the questions, the deposition be limited to the remaining causes of action.
All right, can we take a break?
Time now is 3:30 PM. We're going off the record for break. Time now is 1:58 PM. We are back on the record for break.
John, according to Fordham's policy, it says in cases involving employees, the Title IX coordinator makes a finding of the facts and recommendation for a resolution. So, given that Joyner was an employee, why was the Title IX coordinator not contacted?
As I answered before, this was not a Title IX case.
But it was a general harassment case involving employees. So, I mean, it would stand to reason that a Title IX coordinator would be contacted.
Absolutely incorrect.
So, you're saying if employees are harassed, it's a completely different policy from Title IX?
Objection.
No, what I'm saying is it may or may not be a Title IX.
So, sexual harassment generally involves male-female interactions. Would you not agree?
Not necessarily at all.
Okay.
Title IX has to involve male, female. It could be any sex. It has to be sexual.
Well, sexual harassment is harassment between male and female.
Not necessarily.
Well, most of the time.
Not necessarily.
Most cases involve male-female harassment.
Objection. You already answered the question.
So it would stand to reason then, if this was a male-female harassment, that it would be fall under the sexual harassment Title IX rubric.
Absolutely incorrect.
So basically what you're saying is you're trying to shield your department from a sexual harassment allegation.
Objection.
That's incorrect also, of course.
That would conclude direct examination. We are at the 2-hour marker. Would you like to take a break?
No, so it's still running. I have no cross.
Okay, we are concluded with this deposition for the day. Time is 3:35 PM, and we are going off the record.
I'm sorry, if I may, just that this is, just to state that it's the conclusion of the deposition itself. These are the deposition for the day.
This is the conclusion of this deposition for the day under court order of 2 hours. I'm not a judge, but I'm just merely concluding the deposition with the words available to me that I can do best.
Understood. That it's just to be clear that it's, complete. Thank you.